What's happening, everybody? It is time for another episode of Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay. I'm your one host, Vegas Jay.
And I'm Philly Nay. Hi, everybody.
Hello, Nay. How are you?
I am good tonight. How are you?
I'm great. All right. We're going to introduce our guest here in a quick second, but we're going to start right off with our first segment because I've really tied it together well tonight. It's time for Jay's Tiki Talk, and before I get to why it's tied together, let's say hello to our guest. Hello, Kane. How are you, sir?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me on.
Kane is our guest tonight. Kane's got a great story. It's a story of perseverance and overcoming odds, not unlike our own Nadine. And Kane lives in the thriving metropolis of Montana. And so I have figured out the tiki mug I want to pair with you tonight, Kane, and the rum. So I know you don't live in Honolulu, but you live by one of the tiki bars I have never been to, the Sip and Dip that has live mermaids.
Yes, it does.
So, mermaid mug. Have you been to the Sip and Dip, sir?
Yes, I have.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. And just to show you guys what you're missing by not visiting Montana, here is a little screenshot of the Sip and Dip. So there is the Sip and Dip. It has mermaids that swim around the back of the bar there while you're enjoying cocktails. And look at that carpet. That is amazing.
Yes.
And then I wanted to match my rum, and I wanted a mermaid rum. I don't have any, but my wife had a brilliant idea. Since Kane is our guest, how about 10 Kane rum? See what I did there?
Oh, yeah. Perfect.
So to you, sir, I raise a glass of cheers of a mermaid mug and 10 Kane rum.
And I have my giraffe mug full of coffee. The giraffe mug that Jay gifted me.
Oh, but real quick, this is Fisherman's Wharf, Honolulu. This looks like a very rudimentary mug, but these are very collectible, and they will sell for a lot. So don't think it's just because it's not as fine-tuned as today's mugs are. Don't think it's a bad thing. It is not homemade. It is definitely made for the bar there. So
yeah, it looks primitive.
Yes, very primitive, but it's worth some money. So, all right, Kane, hang tight. Enjoy the half hour. Just make sure your clothes are on when you get back.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
A little bit. Alrighty, now it is time for Nay's breast cancer update and fact of the week.
Yes. So
did your dog swallow a squeaky toy?
I think, yeah, he's, of course, right now he has to play with the squeaky toy.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That,
of course.
That would be,
yes.
That's how dogs are.
Yeah, so if you are attending Ecom Chicago, or if you're thinking about attending but haven't registered, please do so, because if you give a $40 or $20 donation, you will get $40 back against your registration fee. So that's a win-win situation, and the proceeds, the donations are going to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, which helps women like myself, and they do research. They give women, they do prevention by giving women that can't afford mammograms free mammograms, do a lot of great work, and they're a great charity. So please consider donating or attending Ecom Chicago and donating. And I also have a little bit of an update. Some people have asked about my surgery, which was supposed to be on the 27th of this month. It unfortunately has been postponed to December 1st. So I get to ring in my birthday with some more surgery, but it's okay. But that'll be my next surgery. So I'm hanging in there otherwise.
Hang in there, girl.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, let's get to it. Nope. Oh. Yeah.
Score of the week. Okay.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm just over here having my own show in my head.
Yeah, I don't know what you're doing over there. Okay.
All right, it's time for our scores of the week.
Yes, it is.
I was in my own head over there. I was doing the Jason show for myself.
The Jason show.
All right, let's get right to our
Oh.
scores of the week. And my first score, I actually shared it in our Facebook group, the Thrifty.
Jay, you're muted. You are muted. Oh boy. He is, Jason is muted, so I'm going to message him and tell him that he's muted right now. Oh boy. And he's still talking, so. Oh boy. All right, so.
Pretty much sell anything.
Yeah, there you go. Jason, can you hear me?
What?
You have been muted
Yeah.
the whole time. So you need to take it back.
Well, I don't know why I'm muted.
Yeah, and I was trying to, it was like you couldn't hear me either because I was talking. So you need to take
Hey,
it.
how about now? You hear me now?
Now you have an echo.
I know.
Now
Now it's gone.
it's gone.
No. Oh boy.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Hmm.
Does everyone hear my echo?
I hear your echo. I mean, it's better than not
Wait,
hearing
wait,
you
go
at all,
away?
but no, it's not going away.
So, I need to know if the audience hears the echo. Yeah. I don't know what to do.
Well,
Hello, echo?
echo, yes.
Yeah, that is
Yeah, that
crazy.
is crazy echo.
I know.
Hang on a second.
Okay, just yeah, that was weird. You had no sound, and then I don't think you could hear me because I was saying, Jay, nobody can hear you.
Are you there?
Right there.
Are you there? Are you there?
I'm
Yeah.
going to refresh and just keep your fingers crossed till I come back.
Okay,
You got a
You
riff.
got a riff.
I will do that. So, yes. So we have our guest Kane tonight, who has a very inspiring story, and I think that you guys are going to love Kane. I think it was in his bio. We talked about he injured his back at work, and that very badly. He was actually
Hello, test.
yes. It's still echoing.
Well, this is a
perplexing
perplexing situation.
Well.
All right, I'm gonna try something else.
Oh, you're not echoing.
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, you are. Okay.
All right.
All right, hang on.
So Kane will give you a very inspiring story because he not only he really couldn't do anything at all. He'll tell you the story, but he couldn't even climb stairs. It was really bad, and so he
How about
couldn't
now?
work.
Shit.
You're still echoing. And the amazing thing about Kane is that he turned his situation.
Now?
Okay. No, I don't hear an echo.
You hear me?
Yes.
Yay! Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. So he turned his situation into something positive, and we will hear about that in about a half hour. So we're gonna take it with the score to the top of the scores again because nobody heard anything you were saying.
Jeez. All right. So in our Facebook group, the Thrifting board, and this was a sweater that I was kind of dared to buy. I cannot remember who I was thrifting with, and if you see this and you remember it was you, let me know. I can't remember. But someone's like, you couldn't sell this, and I'm like, yes, I can. This is a kind of 80s shoulder pads. That pocket square is actually part of the dress, and it's got fake pockets. Not that the pockets aren't opened yet like a sports coat. Nope, just fake pockets. And I'm not a huge fan of live models, but sometimes you need them for certain things. And my friend, the good Danny, was modeling something else for me that I needed to model. I'm like, hey, throw this dress on. I'm going to try and sell this sucker. I paid $5 and I sold it for $35.
Pretty good.
I bought this last week and you saw it on my haul. It's a giant Australian knife. And I only bought it. I knew I was only going to about double my money. I only bought it so I could say to people, you didn't sell a knife. I sold a knife because I'm a big dork. But I sold it for $60. I paid $28 for it. So I didn't make a ton, but it sold rather quick. It was only up for 3 days.
Wow.
This ashtray is a 1970s Caterpillar vintage ashtray. Caterpillar, the company that makes big machinery. And I paid $2 for it. And if you look at the picture, you can see that the black outlining.
The chat is saying that they can't see the scores. They can only see you. Yeah, the items aren't showing up on the big screen. I don't know why. Oh, my goodness. So, yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. I can see your items up there, but they can't. Apparently, they cannot. So.
All right. The person who's saying everything is blurry, that I have no control over.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's
yeah. I think we're stuck. Are we stuck on the score of the week screen?
All right. Let me.
Oh
no.
boy, no. We're just saying.
All right. So that's not going.
No, things are not going well technically. Oh my goodness.
All out of my control there too.
Yeah, so I don't know.
All right.
Back. Okay, there we go. People are seeing it.
Okay, good. All right, so I realize now what I got to do. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, sorry guys. All right, so this Caterpillar ashtray was missing a lot of the outlining, but it still sold for $50 within 3 minutes of being listed.
Wow.
And this was bought because I thought we had talked about this artist in the Thrifty board, and when I went back and looked, I was wrong. It was some other artist who kind of looked like this, but I'm lucky I bought it because I paid $2.99 for it, and I sold for $50. The artist's name is Judy Bomberger, and it is a ceramic birdhouse, and very whimsical, very Seussical, if you will, and that sold within like a day. So I'm glad I misread the group.
Yeah, there's another artist that looks similar, and I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, but yes.
And everyone who's been to my house knows all my Tiki Mug shelves are full, and when new things come in, old things have to go out. So this is one that got pulled. I've had it for a while. I think somebody gave it to me as a gift. I threw it up for $70, and it sold within a day for $70.
Cool.
Yes, and somebody asked if that was in the haul video. Yes, the knife and the birdhouse was in the haul video. All right, so now we're up to your scores.
Okay, so this one was a Paragon snowflaking. It's an embroidery kit, pillow kit. It sold for $29.99, free shipping, and it was first class, so that was easy peasy. And I paid probably about $2 for it. And this was, I just listed this the other day. I did list it high I listed it for $75 because I knew that I would get about $50 for it. That's what I was expecting. And there were 3 yards of it, 44 inches, and I did, and it was in good condition, except, some of the edges were cut, a little raw, but somebody purchased it. I got an offer for, I think she offered me $40, and I countered with $49.99, and she accepted. So the moral of the story is, you don't need to settle for lower offers. You can counter, and sometimes, very often actually, you'll get the asking price because the person will want it. And this was very sought out fabric. Anything horses and anything vintage horses will sell. So. Terry John for Ricky Freeman. It is a designer label. It's a kind of a higher end designer label, but not a popular one. So I paid probably $5 for this skirt, and I did know the brand, but not a lot of people do know the brand. So it did sit for a while, but I sold it. I took an offer for $30, and that was a good offer. So I was happy with that.
Cool. All right. I'm going to have to go a little bit on the fly. I'm doing things tonight because everything got all messed up. Okay, here we go. You've seen our scores of the week. Now it's time to see our duds of the week. Let our mistakes not be yours. All right. So annoying today. All right, so if you saw my dud last week, here's another one.
Uh-oh.
Here's another one from Phonics Dud. That was a lot bigger and weighed a lot more than I expected. So I sold this for 28. Or no, I'm sorry, I sold this for 15 with $7 shipping. It wouldn't fit in anything economical, so I'm gonna take this away from me. Boo, I'm an idiot. Always know your weights. And Hard Rock Cafe, you know, it's not like it used to be. You used to be able to buy Hard Rock Cafe stuff and sell it, especially in exotic places like Paris. When someone offered me $14.79 for this one, I was happy to take it. So there you go.
Okay, so this is a dud because I had two and I broke one. And my listing, I think I had a pair and I broke one, so I had to take the listing down and redo the picture and do it as one listing. And I think it would have sold better as the pair, and now it's just sitting. I had interest in it when it was a pair. I had watchers, and I was going through my bins and I broke one recently, so I had to edit that, and so that's a dud now. And these have been sitting in my store forever. Nobody wants. Jones New York brand has really tanked, and just nobody wants these. So I will be reducing the price. I'll be putting them on sale, and if they don't sell, I will be redonating them. So, and I also have another dud that I have right here in my possession. Jay's going to bring up some pictures. But this is these looked great. I mean, I saw these in the thrift store. They were $2.99 at Goodwill, and I was like, you know what? These are awesome. They're vintage ski goggles. They have the Herman's price tag on. Herman's is a store that went out years ago. But there's a couple things that I didn't realize when I picked them up. I just got them out of my storage unit, and I was going to list them, and then I looked them up, and I realized a couple things. First of all, they're juniors, which makes them less desirable, and I looked at the completeds, and they're really not selling well. I mean, the vintage ones are selling like maybe $15 I could get, but and Jay has the completeds there that I looked up. But the other thing is that I have another picture there. When I looked closer, the inside material is actually the inside material it's like a foam cushion. It's actually disintegrating. So I don't think that, those are the completeds, and you can see in the box that it's actually disintegrating. So that's a problem there too. So I think that I am not going to be able to sell these. So that's a dud.
Yeah, I realize the pictures weren't showing again, everybody. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I talked my way through it, but
yeah, apparently technology does not like us tonight, Nay. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, somebody said they couldn't see me. Oh boy.
I know. I'm doing my damnedest. I'm so sorry, everyone. All right, now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty kind. I almost didn't know what to say. Good gosh, I'm a mess. I'm gonna train that. All right, so mine, I actually forgot to take a picture. Nay, I'm so bummed. I meant to take a picture.
Oh, no.
And yeah. So it was sale day on Monday at Savers, and I went with my friend Vicky, and we're standing in Crazy Town, and she said, "Look, I don't care where we go, but we have to go to Crazy Town." I said, "All right, we'll go to Crazy Town." And let me tell you, Crazy Town wasn't crazy, and it was the cleanest Savers of all of them, and that's never that way. But luckily, just as we're ringing out, it became crazy. So they had the velvet rope line set up, so you would enter the line at a certain point and go this way. You know, the kind of ones that, they hook into the thing and you can stretch them longer and longer. Well, a crazy old lady had her cart stacked taller than her, and she thought the line started where she had to pick up the post and move it out of the way. And then as she started to come through, one person goes, "Ma'am, that's not the line." Someone else said, "Ma'am, that's not the line." I'm like, "Yo!" And she looked at me. I go, "The line's down there." And she goes, "I got to go wait in line?" Just like that. I just said to her, "Yeah, that's how lines work. You get in them and you wait."
Oh my.
So she stomped her feet, and then stomped off and went and got in line. And she didn't fix the opening that she did. And so the next guy came through. I go, hey, Skippy, look here. And he looked at me. I go, the line's down there. See all those people down there? And he went, all right. And then he walked away. And then we laughed about it. I laughed and went, wait a minute, why didn't I take a picture? The two of them were in line together complaining about the line. Dang it.
Oh, my.
All right, what's yours?
Well, I have a picture to go with it. So
I know.
okay.
I know.
So I was in my Goodwill, my lovely Goodwill. It's not so lovely. But anyway, this guy here was he started talking to me, and he was just like, so do you shop here a lot? Which was, I don't know what I didn't pick up on it. I was just like, yeah, I'm here all the time, but obviously he's not. So, and then anyway, the conversation escalated to him asking me out to Dunkin' Donuts store. So I politely.
Did you take him up on the offer?
No, I did not. I politely turned him down, and I walked away to another section of the store, and he left shortly after. So.
Hey, Nate, you need to carry a pair of scissors with you. When you see a douchey man bun, you got to cut it off.
Yes, it was. So that was my thrifty encounter.
All right, now it's time.
Big spender date, dude. Yes, Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts. It's like, no, thank you. Free donuts.
Now it's time for our thrifty tips of the week, and mine centers around the sale day, because what you got to do on sale day is look. We have 6 savers. I can only be to one first, obviously, but be there right at opening. You will get the best stuff, because as you go on through the day of sale day, even though they do bring out new merchandise, you got to be there. So when it opens at 9, be there at 8:58 in line with the rest of the derelicts who have to be there at an opening for a thrift store. Because I'll tell you, the first one we went to, which was Crazy Town. Oh, and here's the craziest thing about Crazy Town. Vicki and I were talking. I meant to go to a different one first, and by the time I realized that we were past the exit, I said, screw it, let's go to Crazy Town first. And because we got there first, it had the best stuff, and we bought the most amount of stuff at that one compared to the rest. So on sale day, pick out the one in your head that you think will be the best, and make sure you're there for the opening.
Good tip. And my tip is has to do with Lily Pulitzer, which has some pictures again.
So you gotta have share pictures on everything.
I know, of course. The night that it's not working. So there's my tag for the Lily, and the skirt. If you can pull up the full skirt, Jay. Is that possible?
Yep.
Okay. And then, so it looks like it's just a floral skirt, correct? Well, you need to look into Lily patterns really closely, because a lot of times they'll have hidden pictures inside of them. So if you look further at the next 2 pictures, you'll see there's a rhino hidden in there, and in the next picture, and in the next picture, there is a lion hidden in there. So look really closely at your Lily prints, and it also helps you identify the name of them, because they will all have a name, and they don't always have a connotation with, like, there's one that's got hidden foxes, and it's called Foxy something, but this one I think is Jordana Palm or something, Palm Beach or something. It's very odd, but you can usually identify search for the pattern by the hidden pictures too, because I did like pink floral rhino print, and it comes up, and Pinterest is also a great way to identify Lily patterns, because there's a lot of archives, Lily pattern archives on Pinterest. So
yeah, I see a lot of people going, well, I didn't know that. I didn't either. You should have had me guess. She goes, you should have said, what do you see, Jay? And then I'm like,
so look closely at your Lily.
I love it. All right.
Patterns.
Now it is time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me, where Nay and I give you tips on what to do and what not to do. And nowadays, we have a sponsor on this segment, brought to you by Bubble Fast, a family-owned business providing quality shipping supplies to the online community since 1999. Bubble Fast, the internet's home for shipping supplies. And if you go there and plug in J and A when you check out, JAYANDNAY, you get 10% off of your entire order. All right.
Yes.
I know you got more pictures.
I do. I've got pictures.
Everything
for
today with you was
tonight.
pictures.
Yes.
All right.
Of
All right,
course.
hang on. Here they are.
So this was actually, I purchased a skincare product that I use frequently. I ran out of it and purchased it from a different seller, and they shipped it in a poly bag. And then inside, now don't do this with UPS or the post office. Inside was a UPS padded envelope, but it was just flimsily folded, and it really didn't offer any protection to the item inside, as you can see from the next picture, which the box arrived crushed, and the product inside was okay. It didn't leak out, but it easily could have with the way the box was all crushed. When you're shipping something like that, you should really bubble it individually so that it holds, it was basically just tossed around in that too large UPS envelope, which shouldn't have been used in the first place because it was improperly used. And I guess you can't pull up the other picture, Jay.
Oh, I'm back. There you go.
Okay, so there's the rest of the UPS envelope, and then the next picture shows the box arrived all dented, and like I said, the product inside it was liquid, so it could have easily been leaked out, or so that's not the way to ship a skincare or liquid product like that.
All right, so mine. Wait, no, I gotta lock it down. This one. Okay.
People are saying pick's gone. And...
I know. I froze. I had to refresh. I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right.
I think I'm back now.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, so bizarre. Tonight is just like.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It must be.
All right.
Google.
So, can everybody see the blue tape?
Yes.
I hate pausing to ask these questions, but since tonight has not gone well technologically, am I the one up on the screen? That's the other question. Am I up on the screen? Do you see blue tape? Can anyone hear me?
Oh boy. Yes.
Okay, cool.
She said it wasn't coming. Yes. Okay.
So this is the tape you use, the blue tape you use when you paint, because when you do your trim, it's very easy to stick on and very easy to pull off. It does not leave any residue. And where you need this in your day-to-day eBay life is when you ship, and the reason Crazy Clown is here, when you ship artwork that has glass, one of the biggest problems is breakage. And not so much that it broke, because glass can be replaced. But when the glass breaks, and if it starts cutting up the art, then you're really screwed. If the glass breaks and doesn't cut the art, you're not screwed, because all you got to do is replace the glass. That's not a big deal. So you should be using this tape to cover your glass. So start with an X. Now, I've seen people fill in the whole thing. I don't think you got to go that far. But if you do a good asterisk on your picture, if the glass would happen to break, and you should pack it so it doesn't, but if the glass would happen to break, this should hold it together. And if it holds it together, you will not have all these shards cutting up your picture, and then you can replace the glass. And then obviously you can peel it off very easily. It does not leave any residue.
That is a great tip.
Yeah. So make sure you have blue tape. All right. I'm so verklempt. Where are we at? 2-minute topic. Okay, hang on a minute. This is like crazy night. I don't know. Technology just said, screw you. All right, let's try and get this going. We'll see what happens, shall we? All right, time for viewers' 2-minute topic of the week. This week it is from Tara Washburn. Thank you, Tara, very much for submitting your question. If you'd like to submit a question, go to our Facebook page, Thrifty Business with J and A, and submit a question there, and we'll be more than happy to get to it. I guess we're going that way today. All right. Okay. Just nothing wants to be my friend tonight. All right. Nope.
Is the timer not working?
All right. I think there we go. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So, Jared's question is, regarding the holiday selling season, do you run sales during this time? Do you mark items up or just business as usual with the pricing? All right. There we go. It's not the timer I really want, but it'll work. Let's get you on the screen, and you're off.
So, no, it's not business as usual. I will run a sale. I need to do that. Jay is always saying, run a sales, but I will run a sale, and then I'm going to start listing new items. And I also try to list more, like I try to prioritize with items that really I feel like people will buy for gifts. And I list everything that I list everything at a higher price with best offer, usually, because people will pay a little more during the holiday season. However, running a sale also does encourage buyers. So there's two ways to look at it. But if you have best offer on everything, you can price things high, and people will make you a fair offer if they're buying for a gift for the holiday season. So that's basically it. And I'm a little under.
I'll say you came in early, so I thought I'd just give you the buzzer.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everyone. All right, let me reset and start. Here's the one thing I would say about holiday stuff. Most holiday stuff can be listed all year, and you can sell it all year. But the thing that you should wait for that specific moment is Christmas music, especially on CD. What? 2016 people still buy CDs? Yes, all the time. I sell tons of them. Especially Christmas music. Wait until about the week of Thanksgiving, and so that week, the last of November into the first 2.5 weeks of December. That's your sweet spot. That's when you can command the most money. You can list it now, and CDs that sell for $20 today will sell for $50 in that time frame. So that's the one Christmas holiday item that you should definitely wait on, because you'll get your most money. And yes, I still run sales, and I run sales on my Christmas stuff that isn't selling. The closer it gets to Christmas, the more the sale. And especially after Christmas, I run a big sale, because I'd rather just get rid of all my Christmas treasures, and get new stuff for next year. So I'll run a huge sale, especially the week after. Anything Christmas will be like 50% off. Boom. All right.
All right, you killed me on that one.
All right, I am looking forward to getting our guest on so I can sit back and relax.
Well, we have our merit badge
Oh, crap, hang on, we got one more segment.
We do have one more segment.
Crazy time. All right, here we go. It is time now for...
The lifesavers.
We have a rotating segment every week, and so once a month you will see the Lifesavers Merit Badge, brought to you by the Thrifty Board. The Thrifty Board is our Facebook group. And, of course, that's not on the screen. There it is. And what we mean by Lifesavers Merit Badge, our group has a theme of being on the beach, because you surf the web, you surf the ocean. And the people who post questions and ask for help, when they turn into really good teaching moments, that's who gets the Merit Badge. And the teaching moment today wasn't really much of a teaching moment. It was more of they encompassed everything they've learned and put it to use, right, Nay?
Yes, and it was putting good customer service tips that she had gotten on the thrifting board to use. And so this is from Nancy Nowak Boyd, and basically she said she wanted to thank us, you, Jason, and the lifeguards and all the members, because she followed the good customer service tips that she got. She had accidentally sent the wrong shirt, and the buyer messaged her, and she said she would like that shirt instead of the one, but she told her, you know what, keep that shirt and I'll get the right one out to you. And then she realized that she couldn't find the shirt that she actually sold. So she said, look, I can give you a refund, or I'll give you a different blouse you can pick out. So she picked out a different blouse and she loved it. And she said, I now have a new follower. It may have cost me a little lost revenue, but I got the things cheap. So as long as I provide good customer service, I'm okay with that. And it got her to clean up and organize her eBay room. So, yeah, so thank you, Nancy, for being a good example of following the good advice that you get on the thrifting board and putting it to good use, because that makes the lifeguards, all of us feel like we're really doing our job well. So,
and I'd like to add that it is rare, not in our group, but rare on the rest of online and other groups, to actually demonstrate good customer service, going above and beyond for your customer. There's this prevailing attitude of the customers are out to get us. Every customer is evil. If a transaction doesn't go well from A to B, that it must be a scam. And that's just truly not the norm or ever the case. Scams and issues are so small, they don't even register on a scale. So Nancy was so great to say, I realized it, I screwed up, and I communicated with my buyer, and I ended up taking care of her. I took a loss, but you know what? I learned that from the group. And I'm a better seller for it.
yes.
And funny enough, the asterisk just blew off my wall. Too weird. How's that for weird?
Why did you have an asterisk on your wall in the first
When
one?
my mom and I do our show, every once in a while I have to go asterisk and then tell people, this is the exception. But it just, as we were talking, it just blew off. I'm like, what a weird night.
So something's going on. I don't know. It must be that clown giving bad vibes.
Twice I've walked into my bedroom and the lights have been on, and I asked my assistant, and she goes, I swear I turned them off. So she insists that we have a ghost.
Oh.
And he wants to cleanse the house.
Oh boy.
So I don't know. Maybe we do have a ghost. Maybe that's what's going on tonight. All right. Jeez, let's get our guest in here. I'm so sorry. It took forever today.
Let's get Kane.
Crazy day. All right. Hey, it's time for Kane Foster. Let me see if I can actually get him in here. That's going to be let's see if this works.
There he is.
Hey,
Yay,
Kane.
Kane.
Hello.
Kane. How are you, sir?
How are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, thank you.
We're great, and I'm so sorry for keeping you another seven minutes there. What a technical nightmare tonight, Kane. So let's hope the juju in Montana is better than in Vegas. Let me tell you right now, because it's not been going well tonight. I'm kind of flying off the cuff. Kane came to us, and the reason he's on tonight is because there's still two of me. I don't need two of me. Let's get rid of one of me. Because of he wanted to share his story, and his story was not unlike Nadine's and our friend Tim Taylor's. It's kind of persevering, overcoming a bad blow that life dealt you, and moving on, and not wallowing in self-pity and sitting in the corner and sucking your thumb. And I've been there, so I can talk about it. 'Cause I got fired from a job I loved, and I had been there, and I sucked my thumb for 2 weeks, and I sat in the corner, and then one day I snapped out of it. So I fully understand that. So before we get to your story, though, Kane, why don't you give us your 60-second bio, like who are you, why are you, why Montana, married, kids, dogs, whatever you got. Let us know.
I'm married, got 2 stepkids, and was an Air Force brat, so all over the world. My dad would get stationed different places when I was a kid. He retired when I was in 2nd grade, and anywhere we moved after that, there was always an Air Force base. And one of the moves after he was retired took the family to Montana, and I fell in love with the state. I've lived overseas in Europe, and I've lived in a bunch of the western United States, but there was just something about Montana that hit me, and anytime I'd leave the borders to go to another state or somewhere else, I'd always want to come back. I was looking forward to coming back. So I knew it was going to be home for me, and my family has since moved on to, they're in Spokane, Washington area now. But I met my wife here, and she's lived here for a long time, and we just decided to put down roots here, and I can't picture living anywhere else. We love to travel, so we look forward to going to other places, but we always look forward to coming home.
Please tell me you met your wife at the Sip and Dip.
No, I did not.
Dang it, that'd been so epic. if you would have met your wife at a tiki bar, that'd have been like, show's over. That's the most.
Yeah. So I hear it's very pretty out there in Montana.
It absolutely is. Yep.
Oh, it's not as pretty as the deserts of Vegas. Come on now.
Or the inner city of Philly.
Did you say how long you've been married, Kane?
We've been married for 9 years. We've been together for 12.
Wow.
Okay. So just young love.
Sure. Young compared to your love, yes.
Yeah, 26 long years. Oh wait, is Stacy watching? So, Nate, why don't you jump us in here because Kane came to us because of
yeah. So Kane actually sent me a really nice message saying that he shared a story and he could relate to kind of what I'm going through in essence, and said that I'm an inspiration, which really made me feel great. So thank you for that. But I was really impressed by Kane's story. So Kane injured himself at work, and that kind of started everything. So if you can take off from there, Kane, and explain what happened to you and how that how you changed, you kind of turned around a bad thing into a good thing, and escalated it from there. So.
Sure. Well, for 3 years prior to that happening, I sold very part-time on eBay. I had a regular job delivering medical supplies for a hospital. And so it's just very small amount of sales that I had each month, just getting rid of stuff around the house. When I injured my back, I was lifting something heavy and using proper lifting technique that I've used many, many times. And I felt just a pain and a twinge in my back, and I didn't think too much of it. My mentality was just to push through, go home, take some, pain meds, and it'll be all right. But what I started experiencing in the days after that was a lot of weakness and numbness in my legs, my back and my sides. And it got so bad to the point where I could hardly feel my legs at all. I had multiple MRI tests done, CT scans, x-rays, blood work. They did all kinds of tests. I had a nerve study test, which is very painful for anyone who's ever had one. They take needle type things and just jab them into your leg to test how your nerves react when your muscles contract. It's incredibly painful. They weren't able to determine the cause of it. They checked for pinched nerves and all kind of stuff and could not determine what was wrong. So I was ordered not to go back to work, return, and then my primary physician wouldn't let me return either. My wife had to drive me to all of the appointments I had. I could not drive for 2 months because I could not feel the pedals beneath my feet. So I couldn't even operate I couldn't operate a car. So with my job delivering medical supplies, I walked around the hospital pushing carts and then going to different parts of the hospital delivering supplies. I walked 5 to 10 miles a day. Today I'm going from walking 5 to 10 miles to the next day not even be able to really feel my feet. And it was very hard for me. I've been very active for most of my life. I've done mountain climbing and hiking and all kinds of things that I really enjoy. And so when this happened, it got to the point after a while where I would sit at home, and I did a little bit of what Jay talked about. I felt sorry for myself a little bit. I started to worry that what was wrong with me was permanent because they couldn't find a cause, so they couldn't really effectively treat it. So I started to question whether this was going to be a permanent thing for the rest of my life. And once I dealt with that, I faced it, I prayed about it, and I went, what can I do? If I can't do what I was doing before, what can I do now? And so we were fortunate to meet a gal during the summertime of 2014, and we made a contact with her at her garage sale where we bought a bunch of dolls from her. And fast forward to October 2014, and 2 days after I hurt my back, I'm sitting at home, I'm on my computer, and I would have normally been at work that day. And I'm scrolling through a Facebook yard sale page that we have locally here. And I see her post where she has thousands of Barbie dolls listed. And I remembered that she had told us about them when we were there and showed us the boxes, the big like U-Haul sized boxes, but we didn't get to look inside them at that time. And so I messaged her and I said I would like to buy them, and she remembered who I was. And so that day we went, and it took two, it's not just the back of the pickup truck, but it was a big cab inside the pickup. So the whole back seat was filled with U-Haul boxes. The whole back of the pickup truck was stacked with U-Haul boxes. 2 truckloads doing that.
Wow.
And after we did 2 truckloads, on her way home from the second truckload, she sent me a message saying, hey, I have 10 more boxes. And to give you an idea, inside each one of these U-Haul boxes was dozens of Barbies in each one. So, I mean, it ended up being a huge amount of dolls. And
so before you go on, Kane, was she buying as an investment or to flip, or was she a collector like I have tiki mugs?
she was actually the granddaughter of a woman who had collected them over the years. And so her grandma bought them for her mom, this gal's mom. And then they got passed down to her. And so it just was a situation where they were ready to sell them all because they were taking up so much space in it was like a toy hauler trailer, like you put four-wheelers in. And it was just filled to the brim with this stuff. And so, yeah.
So someone asked, were they in original boxes? They were, correct?
Yes. Every single doll we purchased was sealed brand new in their boxes.
Wow.
It was
crazy.
Yeah, and I hadn't sold much in the way of toys prior to that. So, I mean, it just really got us going on toys that, jump start on it.
So you said you invested about $1,500 and turned that into a lot more. So, and can you talk about that and then how that basically you couldn't go back to work to a regular job. So this really was just amazing to you because you were able to do something else and still have an income. So can you talk about that?
Absolutely. So after we got those, it took me 2 months, all day, every day of listing to get through all those boxes of Barbies.
Wow.
So I was fortunate that I was getting paid by the hospital for the 2 months, but I was also, that helped me be able to have the time and the money. So listing those, we started to get sales on it pretty quick. A lot faster than I expected because it wasn't something we had sold before. So I didn't know how quick it would take for people to find us. We didn't really have a store at that time. We were just a very small part-time seller. So I didn't know what to expect. But by the time I was done I stopped counting at $40,000. So it was probably past that, but what that allowed me to do, and it was kind of funny. One day I'm looking at my wife and a couple months had gone by. My legs were doing a little bit better. And I just looked at my wife and I said, I don't have time for a regular job right now because I'm shipping so much stuff. I don't have time for a regular job. And she just looked at me and said, then don't go back. And, it's something I'd prayed about too. And I didn't make the decision lightly, but it just really felt right. And so it turned out to be a big blessing and a big stepping stone. And from there, we just took a lot of that money and just reinvested in our business, went out to find more collections. And it got us going and buying more from thrift stores and flea markets, garage sales, all that stuff. So we were able to pay bills with that, obviously, but I also took it and started reinvesting in the business because I got hungry to keep building it.
That's great.
So Kane, let's back up just a little bit. So back when you first had the accident and you got the Barbies, so physically, were you able to stand and take pictures, or did you have to sit? Or how did that work?
I had to sit to take all the pictures. I could only walk for a couple minutes at a time. I didn't really leave the house much for 2 months because I couldn't go to the store and walk with my wife to the store. or anything like that. I'd always stay in the car. So I just decided for the 2 months I would just stay home, or however long it took to start getting better. And I didn't sleep a lot because my legs were numb, but it was a mix of numb and 2. And so I slept 1 to 2 hours a night for pretty much every night for those 2 months.
Wow.
So when I wasn't in bed, which was pretty much the whole time, I was sitting down listing. And so, I could sit and take pictures, and then I would sit at my computer and list them. There wasn't a whole lot I had to do as far as standing and all that went. I could roll around in my chair, and I didn't have to use my legs as much as, say, maybe somebody else that would have. But it was a challenge, but it really paid off.
That's awesome. It's so amazing. We love stories of, overcoming, because, when I talked about being in that corner sucking my thumb, I had been fired from a job. I didn't have any physical limitations at that time. Or issue is just that I enjoyed my job, but I was concerned how we're going to pay the bills. I don't have too much of a skill other than at that time selling music. And so if you can't find another record store, I don't have much of a skill. But then I had the problem with my arm, where I had a giant hole in my arm and it wasn't working for a year. And again, I understood depression very much where I didn't understand it before, because again, I'm like, man, I'm screwed. I can't use my right arm, and I'm right-handed. And so, but one day, just like, screw it. I got, life's too short. I can't be sitting here feeling sorry for myself. I got to figure out what to do and how to enjoy my life. And I did, because of the hole in my arm. So, kind of like you're like, I don't got time for a regular job. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm doing it on my own.
And I'm in a similar situation here and I'm sorry about my dog in the background. But I'm in a similar situation with going through the breast cancer and everything that I've been through. And I still, I lost my regular full-time job that I had. And so this has to, be my income now, and you have to do what you have to do. So I force myself to list even when I don't feel well, because you have to keep going. So I understand that.
So the chat wants to know how you're feeling physically nowadays.
For the most part, I don't have a lot of the symptoms that I had, but I noticed if I sit too much for too long, it kind of brings some of that back. Like my legs would get a little lethargic. So I try to stay pretty active. I have a 3-story house, so lots of stairs up and down, which is good. I have a treadmill, workout tape. There's things that I do to keep myself more active. Not just eBay. So I think it's important to try to keep yourself active outside of listing and doing eBay stuff too, is to keep yourself healthier that way as well. But overall, I don't have the symptoms that I had back then. So thankfully,
that is so great to hear too. So it's awesome. All right. So you bought the Barbies, you started selling, you're like, holy shit, I'm making money. Screw this job stuff. I'm my own man now. So what was the next step? So you did Barbies. What was the next step to like, I've got to keep this train rolling?
Well, we bought the Barbies in October, and I started listing them immediately. So that sold like crazy through the Christmas season, and actually carried us through January and February, which I was really surprised that the sales were so high for us. January and February, we were still doing $5,000-$6,000 a month, even in January and February, which for me was shocking. What I found out was a lot of people were receiving eBay gift cards for Christmas presents. And so a lot of the people that were buying Barbies from us still in January and February were using the eBay gift cards, which I thought was really cool. But after that, it got to be springtime and stuff, and so we went out and started hitting all the garage sales, flea markets. We have quite a few thrift stores for our town, 60,000 people, but we still got several thrift stores that we go to on a regular basis. And then I do a lot of buying off the Facebook yard sale pages. So I don't know, maybe some of the viewers out there might be something they consider, is we've networked with a lot of people on the Facebook yard sale pages. And additionally to that, I've made friends with the people that run some of the antique malls here. So when they get, especially older toys, we do sell mostly toys, but we're branching out into more than that. But I've gotten calls where, hey, this guy came in with a toy collection. We're not going to put it in our antique store, but do you want you want to buy it from him, here's his information. So I've networked a lot in my city with people. And so rarely am I sitting going, what am I going to list? I just really try to stay very active using all the places I can source items from, and then always constantly looking to network and meet new people. So I just encourage people not to sit idly. If you're having problems finding inventory, try different ways of finding it. Whether it's, I've even gone on Craigslist. I've gone Facebook yard sale pages, flea markets, antique stores, which some people are kind of maybe hesitant to go into antique stores, but I've actually found, sometimes the person in the antique store might not know what something's worth, or it's not something they sell a lot of. And I've actually gotten a lot of antique and vintage toys for a very good price from people because of that, and been able to flip it. So just don't sit idly by and get frustrated that you can't find anything. Do everything you can to be actively looking, so your business will build and the energy and the work into it. So, if you get all excited, you get a bunch of stuff and you list it, like the Barbies, for instance. We sold through that over the course of several months. Yes, that was a good dollar amount to get from it, but then it was like, okay, what's next? And so it really empowered me to just keep looking for stuff and keep building the business. So we've done, in the last 2 years, about $110,000 in sales. That blows my mind. It's significantly more than I would have made delivering medical supplies at the hospital. And that's because I stay hungry. I stay looking for inventory. I keep listing stuff. And I have my wife, who she'll get dolls ready. If they're used dolls, she'll do their hair, style them.
That's good.
My Little Pony, she'll do their hair and style them if they're used. So, I do have some support there as well and some help, but.
That's great. And you're also working towards bringing your wife into the business and having her as a full-time employee as well, right?
Absolutely.
Employee. I know.
I'm guessing she wouldn't call herself an employee.
All right, that was a little.
No, we're definitely partners. I do a lot more of it right now.
Yes.
Right. I do a lot more of it now, but that's the goal, is to get her home full time. She also enjoys this very much. You should see her with a pile of dolls. She gets all excited like she's, a little kid again, and it's just really neat to see. But we're a little ways away from that, a little ways down the road. But I didn't expect to be able to do this full time like I am now either. So you just never know. That's why I just say keep actively looking and doing everything that you can to build your business, and it will work out. Just put the time, effort, energy into it, and believe in yourself. You got to buy into yourself and believe in yourself.
I think that's a great guest bonus tip of the week there.
No kidding. I wish I had the music that weren't ready.
But
because everything crashed.
I know, but that was
so great. I got to tell you, Kane, when I got fired from that job, and I was sitting around for that 2 weeks, sucking my thumb, feeling sorry for myself. I got up one day and went out and went to a different record store, not the one I got fired from, but I went to a different one. And they had a table of dollar CDs, and online selling had just started. This was 2000. And a website called half.com, which was kind of like the predecessor to Amazon, was started. And I'm looking at these dollar CDs going, oh, they're worth more than $1. And I took them home and I sold a whole bunch for $8. And which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you flip $20 CDs, turn that into $160, you're like, hey, this is fun. And all of a sudden that funk you're in, you get out of, and you're like, I'm going to keep doing that. That was a lot of fun. And you're right. I didn't work for anybody. I didn't have to shower or brush my teeth or nothing.
Well, I don't know if that's a bonus, but
some days it is.
I still shower every day.
All right. Well, let's. Speaking of all your awesome scores, let's see some of your scores, because as usual, we had our guests send over some scores and some duds. Because no matter how good you are, you always have duds too.
Yes.
Let's see if I can do this right. Okay. I think the entire audience has seen your score. So tell us about the Berry Bubba Gorilla.
This plush gorilla is like 3 or 4 inches tall, just this tiny little thing. I found him at a garage sale, and I paid 25 cents for him. I looked on the tag and noticed it said Wallaceberry, and I'm very familiar with Russ Berry, who does plushes and PVC figures like Smurfs and all that kind of stuff. So I was familiar with Russ Berry, but not Wallaceberry. So I looked it up on my phone. The time that I looked it up was even higher than what I sold it for, and I thought, this can't be right. I used my eBay app. So I took a 25-cent purchase and turned it into $50 sale.
That's one hell of a return, sir.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yes.
Oh, I just clicked on his store. Very nice logo.
Yeah, very nice.
Very clean. Very nice.
Yes, as a graphic designer, I like it.
Speaking of Nay, I need you to redo my logo. Okay, going on.
Okay.
Whoa.
We'll talk about that.
This is the kind of stuff that I don't know well enough. I never look at the action figures. Holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah, I don't look at action. Well, my kids do, but maybe I need to steal some from them. So
tell us about him.
That I found from a local collector. I actually bought a large collection of vintage Star Wars, G.I. Joe, a lot of vintage action figures from him. And this one was in with all of them, and he didn't know what it was. We could identify pretty much the rest of them, but we weren't sure what he was from. So I came home and I did research on him, and I was finding him selling for $70, $75 without his little wrist rocket, which makes him complete. He has a little wrist rocket tool that comes with him, our weapon. And so I put him on there originally for about $120, and then I dropped it down to $100. And as soon as I did that day that I dropped him to $100 or best offer, I sold it for $75. So I really couldn't put a price on what I paid for it, maybe $1 at most, because I bought a huge collection, and that was just part of it.
Okay, this is a great picture because obviously this guy, his head rotates. So
yeah,
there's normal guy, there's shark guy. This in-between picture is such a great shot, and I want everyone who's watching this.
Yeah, I was
really
showing the transformation.
Yeah, anytime you have something, I mean, we're not all going to sell action figures, but there are things that have things that open or do something. That in-between shot is such an awesome shot. I love that shot.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Well done, sir. That was excellent. All right. And then you're not only limited to toys, you're also selling some jackets.
Correct.
Great.
Yes. So I picked that one up at a garage sale for $1. I love going to garage sales for clothes now. Now that I've opened us up to selling more than just toys, I'm finding a lot of new with tag clothing, but this coat was very gently used, and I put it on there for $55, and it sold a very short time later. I mean, it was a matter of days, so I didn't have that sitting very long at all.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that's great. It's a nice jacket.
And again, back to action figures, I would just have no clue.
Wow, and I love that shot, how you photograph them, on the little the steps and.
Yeah, I bought the acrylic stairs off of a seller from eBay. Really helps with smaller things when you want to display a bunch of them at a time instead of just setting them all flat on a counter or something. But I got all those for 5 cents a piece, so there's 20 of them there. Wow. So I paid $1 for them, and and I sold them for $53.95.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, you are just full of bonus tips. I like this.
I know that was a great with the acrylic stairs. That's a great bonus tip. Yeah, I love that.
Now this was a dud, or was this a score?
That one is a dud. I did have one other score I wanted to talk about. It was a non-toy item.
Did you send me the link?
Yeah, it would have. It was probably the last link I sent you.
What was it, Kane?
It was Purology.
All right, we'll talk about this dud. I'll find the link.
This is a dud because when I got it, I thought it was all complete. It was there, but there's kind of partial packaging, and it looked like everything was sealed inside the plastic itself, but a couple of the accessories turned out to be missing. And so I had a buyer contact me and said, I see that it's missing a couple things. Will you take $20 for it? Well, had everything been there, I could have sold it for probably $40 to $50. So it was a dud just because it turned out to not be complete like I had hoped. And it sat we had it for a while. So I was just happy to get rid of it at the price of $20, made a few bucks, and sold to somebody that was willing to take it with missing a couple of pieces. So it worked out.
And I already had it up, but I just had it on order. So I'm sorry. There you go.
Oh. Wow.
So now we're into, what is this?
Okay, this is Pureology. It's actually a hair care product to help the color in your hair last a lot longer. Jay, you and I absolutely would have no use for that as the
Hey now.
but so I was at a garage sale, and they were selling a bunch of non-toy items. Some of it was hair care, some of it was tools, just all kinds of stuff. It was selling it so cheap. I didn't even look this up before I paid them. I just was like, they were 25 cents each. I got 4 of them, so I paid $1 for all 4.
Wow.
And I came home and I was looking it up, and when it brought up the comparables on eBay, I was doing like a double take. I'm like, I have to be reading this wrong. So I took something I knew nothing about, and that price actually doesn't reflect. I really sold them for $54 a piece, which I did comment on the thrifting board. I actually got $216 for all 4, but I paid $1 for all 4 together.
That's profit margin there.
Amazing.
That's great.
Yep.
And then and it's so great, I always tell people, if you got a niche, cool. Exploit it, work it to death. But once you get done with your niche, there's about 10 billion other things you should be looking at and selling. And you went from Barbie dolls to jackets to keeping your color in your hair. Something you would even not normally look at because, like you said, you and I don't need to care about that.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And then your last dud is these Boyd's Bears.
It's a dud because I've had it for like 2 years, and I think, for us that's not very typical, but it does happen. It probably happens to every seller, and so this was really interesting because the day that sold, I had a thought earlier in the day of I periodically will run through my head, what's the oldest item I have in my store? Because I want to do a sale on it or donate it. I want to do something, so I try and go back and look at that. The same day that I was thinking about that, just a few hours later in the day, that finally sold. And so, not that Mental Mojo makes things sell, but it was just kind of interesting that it happened the same day, and I hadn't really thought about that item for a long time. So,
yeah, that's happened. That's bizarre. That bizarre occurrence has happened to me a couple times too. Or like I'll dig out an item from my bin or something, then I'll say, I forgot I had that, and then it'll sell. Did Boyd's Bears still sell well, or is that kind of something that's tanked?
I haven't done much with like the actual Boyd's, the harder figures. That was just plushes, so I haven't really sold any of the regular little figures at all. I have a sister that's collected them over the years, but so I don't know exactly as far as the figures. I'm sure the market's gone down on them because, like with anything, the market gets saturated on certain toys at different times. Unfortunately, the prices get driven down, but that's with anything too.
Okay.
So to wrap it up here, Kane, what's next? What's your next plan to bring the wife in, expand the business, look at new products? What's next on your to-do list?
Well, we want to keep looking for big collections is one thing that I really like to buy, especially this time of year, because it really pushes us through the Christmas season, provides a lot of items to sell. But from that, now that we go to thrift stores and flea markets, all that stuff, we're now looking for a lot more than just toys. So I felt like I was maybe hitting a little bit of a wall with toys, and then now that we're selling more than that, because I've sold multiple pairs of jeans this week and all kinds of non-toy items, some of it which you showed there, and it just gets me really excited. So it kind of rekindles, lights a fire under me again, and I get excited. I'm like, all right, let's go out. And so it's just going to be, like I talked about earlier, sourcing as much as we can from all the different areas, and looking for big collections to give us a big boost. But yeah, my wife wants to be home with me full time. I want her home with me full time. We're a great team as far as the business goes and just in life in general. So, and then we we'll just keep expanding. I mean, we'll keep adding more items, different types of items. And I've been very pleasantly surprised at how fast we've sold non-toy items when what we sold was just toys for a couple of years. So the response has been fantastic. And so that just pushes me more and more to keep looking for that stuff. And so I just encourage people that are listening, if you feel like you're stuck in a rut and maybe you're doing one kind of thing, try something to freshen it up. Try some different types of items. I think you'll be surprised at being able to sell items that maybe you hadn't been selling before. So just do everything you can to keep building your business. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on your dream and your vision. I couldn't hardly walk for 2 months. I couldn't feel my legs. And I said, okay, I can't do the stuff I used to. What can I do? And I pushed through, and it's led me to this point. And now we're going to keep working as hard as we can to get my wife home full time. And I will definitely let Jay and Nay, both of you, know when that happens.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Somebody asked if you advertise that you buy collectibles. Do you like on Craigslist or anything like that?
I haven't done a whole lot of advertising. I have spoken with a representative of the Postal Service, and they actually will do flyers that you can mail out to people in the city. So they'll take like a section of the city and they can blanket it by mailing out stuff to people. So that would be one thing. And then I have networked with a lot of people on Facebook and some local people, so they do know that I flip. So that does help. But I'm going to work on that more, especially next year.
Yeah, I think the Facebook groups are a good source too. Yeah, if you have a local Facebook group.
And we have one more question for you. Do you use social media, or do you have a Facebook business page to get more traffic to your eBay store?
Yes, we have a Facebook page. It is Treasure State Toys, which is also the name of our store on eBay. So it's the 3 words, Treasure State Toys. And we have Callie Markham, who does Twitter promotions and stuff. And we've had her in the past promote on Twitter for our store. I haven't got on Twitter a whole lot. I stay busy with what I'm doing, so it's nice to have someone sending out tweets and stuff, doing some advertising for the store and all that. And then, yes, we actively post on our Facebook page, Treasure State Toys, on a regular basis. So if you guys would please go there and like the page, and
yes, definitely.
Sure, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Dude,
Yes.
that was even more than I could even imagine. Like, we want to tell your story, but we had so many great bonus tips.
Yeah.
And the chat even said, Kane, really enjoyed your story, and Sims, thank you. Kane, what an awesome story. Congrats to you. Wish you the best of luck. So.
Oh yeah, you blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did great. That was amazing.
So thanks for writing to us. Thanks for saying yes. Thanks for coming on, and thanks for sharing your story, because that's it's one of those things where when people do this, we work out of our house a lot of times. It's by yourself. It's very quiet and can be a little like doing the right thing. And then when you see others who are persevering and overcoming and making a go at it and making a successful go at it, it's very encouraging. So besides having guests who are very specific, like an accountant, we also like to have guests who really share their story and hopefully encourage others. And I know anyone who watches this, especially anyone who is on the fence, I know they'll be like, wow, Kane's the man. Let's do this. Hey, I had a question about when you didn't feel your legs. Did you do any fun party tricks? Like, hey, watch me whack this tack into my leg because I don't feel it? Anything like that?
No, I didn't do anything like that. I mean, I guess I could have. Might have freaked a few people out. But
yeah, I would have done that. Heck yeah. Hey, watch me stab myself in the leg. So, hey, Kane, I don't know when it's going to happen, but Montana's on my short list of places to go for 2 main reasons. Obviously, gorgeous country. I would like to see it, but it's got one of the coolest tiki bars in the country I've never been to. So, and when I found out you lived in the same city, I guess we'll be visiting you in the near future.
That would be awesome. Look forward to it.
Cool. All right, so let's do a quick little housekeeping. Thank everyone. Live audience, thank you very much. I'm so sorry for the technical difficulties. None of them were my fault tonight. I made do with what I had. Sometimes they are my fault. Tonight, that was just Google, YouTube. Thank you very much. Do me a favor. Click like down here underneath this, and then click subscribe down here. Now, next week is Econ Chicago. If you see these dates right here, Econ Chicago.
Yes.
Nate and I will be speaking there. The goal is to have this show broadcast live from the event. So that'll be a week from this Saturday, and our show will be at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon on the West Coast. But we're not 100% sure it'll work. We're going to test the Wi-Fi on Thursday. So if you're around on Thursday, late afternoonish in Chicago time, I'll be running about a 15-minute test show because we're going to try and make sure the Wi-Fi is good enough, make sure the camera angles are good enough. So if you can tune in, I'll need a little audience just to make sure everything works. So if all goes off well, you'll see us on Saturday. Unfortunately, if the Wi-Fi stinks, there ain't nothing we can do, and so you won't see us for a week. So mark us in your calendar, Saturday the 22nd, 3 o'clock Eastern. Everything goes well. You'll see a live show from the event. You'll see the whole audience. It'll be a ton of fun, and we're doing an hour show, which we do an hour show every week.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having a real guest, so Nate and I are going to do all the rotating segments. We're going to expand the scores and duds, and we're going to share a lot of stuff. You might see a repeat here or there, but you're going to see a lot of new stuff. So,
yeah,
fingers crossed.
Yeah, I hope we can broadcast live. It's going to be a great show. We're really we've been planning it, and we have some really good stuff up our sleeves. So.
Yeah, so it'll be a lot of fun. So everyone in the chat who's going to be there next week, I cannot wait to see you all on Thursday. It's going to be a ton of fun. Thursday morning, we got a thrifting class. Thursday night, we'll start hanging out with everybody. The event's Friday, Saturday, and like I said, hopefully Saturday you will see us live. And if not, we will let you know. By Thursday, I'll know if this will work or not. So I won't make you sit there on Saturday and just hope. By Thursday afternoon, I'll know for sure if it's working or not. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone who watches after the fact. I know not everyone can tune in. And going into the next couple of weeks with the playoffs, I know people are going to want to watch their favorite sports teams. Go Tribe! Woo! This Friday morning, I don't know the exact time, Nate and I are going to do a haul. I hit 4 of the Sabres on sale day. And, man, I got some cool stuff. You think I got a cool leather coat last time you saw the haul? I got one just as cool this time, too. So tune in Friday morning. And then Sunday afternoon, my mom and I will be back with selling past your expiration date, being thrifty over 50. And this week's topic, how to have a sale in your eBay store. Hey, May, you should tune in because you'll get some good pointers.
Yes, I know. I need to run a sale. We've been discussing that. I will be doing that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, Kane, for being our guest. Keep up the great work, sir. If we can ever help, just let us know. Absolutely.
Thank you, both of you, Jay and Nate. Really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. You're an inspiration to me as much as you said that I am to you. So thank you.
Yeah, so for Thrifty Business with Jay and Nay, I'm Jay.
And I'm Nay.
And that was Kane, and we're gone. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.